Hello everyone, Denise here. Today we're going to make a hat to match the mitts that we made in my last tutorial. This is a bottom up hat, so we will do the ribbing first and then continue on with the body of the hat and decrease to the top. I'm going to be using Red Heart Granny Square all-in-one. This is a color changing yarn that was designed for granny squares, but you can use it for anything. I do have a review on that. You could go check that out. I will link my tutorial for the mitts and the review in the description box below, and you can make all of them with one skein of yarn. This is a lot of yardage in this. You can see it's not full because I've been using it. Color is Erin Soft Sky. Yardage 417 yards, 381 meters. So there's quite a bit here. 250 grams, and it is 8.8 ounces. It's 100% acrylic. It's a medium weight for, calls for an eye hook. And that is what I have here, 5.5 millimeter. I guess it depends on how you stitch as far as loose or tight, how your color is going to shift on the mitts. Of course, if you use different parts of your skein, you're going to get different amounts of the rows and whatnot. And on the head, it will be the same as well. I have a hat I made in a different way. I did top down. I didn't really like that method. It worked. I just didn't really like that way. So I created one bottom up. It's also in the other room, so I can't show it to you, but it will have slashes of color instead of rounds because hats have more circumference. So depending on your gauge and whatnot, your tension in your yarn will depend on how far those colors go around your hat, and also the size you're making. If you're making a baby hat, they might go all the way around. So we are going to start with our 5.5 millimeter hook and a slip knot, and we are making the ribbing first. And I did a short ribbing on mine, so we are going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then in the second chain from the hook, 1, 2, putting a single crochet, single crochet in the next, single crochet in the next. Now if you want a longer ribbing, you can chain more and do the same thing. I wanted a shorter one for this hat. Chain 1 and turn your work. Now looking at your work, gonna turn it and look at it. So we see all the V's. Those are all of our stitches we just made. We're gonna go into the back loop here of the first one. We're gonna do a single crochet. Gonna go into the back loop of the next one, single crochet. Back loop of the next one, single crochet. 3 stitches, chain 1, turn your work. Gonna do the same thing, looking at your stitches in the back V, single crochet, back V, single crochet, back V, single crochet. So then you have to decide what size you're making, and that will determine how long your ribbing is. I will leave a general size list in the description box below of circumference that you would make for certain ages and genders. So depending on the size that you're making, your band will vary. If you do not know the size of the person's head, just go by that. It's just a general size. If you are aiming at a size that you're unsure of, because maybe a child's age, go up. I would say go up a size if you're unsure on size, because someone can always grow into a hat when they're young, right? But if you make it too small and they're an adult, they're probably not going to wear the hat. So my band for the other one in the other room is about 14-15 inches long, and that is for an adult. So just depends on the size of the person's head that you're making it for. An average female is around 22 inches. Average male is 23 inches. So it just depends on the person you're making it for. It actually depends on the region of the world you're in. Apparently, UK sizes are a little bit larger than ours as far as circumference of heads. I found that out recently. It's very forgiving. So as long as you get right around the size that you need, it should be fine. The stitch itself is forgiving as far as stretch, and so is this band. So I'm going to work until I'm around 14 or 15 inches in length. And that is without stretching it, so you would lay it on your table and then measure. The 14-inch one that I made earlier fit around my head. My head is around 22 inches, so I think it's just shy of 22 inches. So keep that in mind when you're making your ribbing. And I'm going to continue to work on mine. I will meet right back up with you to show you how to join it and proceed on the hat. Okay, so my band is 15 inches long. So I'm going to join it and then show you how to make the body of the hat. So I take the working end and I put it next to the other end, and then I slip stitch both sides together. So go into the corner stitch, oops, get all of one leg of the corner stitch, pull through, and then I take the first leg of the stitch and the first leg of this side, yarn over and pull through, keeping it a tad bit loose. And then I turn it inside out. See, we were like this, and I turn it to where we're working on it now, the right side, or what I'm calling the right side because that seam is tucked in. Okay, so here, ignore your tail if you have your tail there. Chain one. So our first round is going to be all single crochets, and once we get to the end around back here, putting the single crochets in, we want to make sure we have a multiple of 3. So don't put too many, like don't put so many that it overloads your hat and it starts shoving it out like that. Don't do that. We want the hat to, it can go out a little bit, but not a whole bunch. So try to keep in line with what you have. If you counted your rows, that would be helpful. It's not necessary. I just put the hook in wherever it's comfortable, and I travel all the way around the hat, and then I count and make sure I have a multiple of 3. If I don't, I'll add a stitch or 2 or whatever I need. So going in that same space here, I'm going to put a single crochet, and then like I said, I just put the hook in wherever it's comfortable and make a single crochet. So I'm going to do that, and then I will meet back up with you when we get around to the end of this round, And I will tell you what my stitch count is, but yours could be different. You might be making another size. It could even be the same size and a different stitch count, as long as your count is multiples of 3. Okay, so I'll see you in just a little bit. When you get all the way around and you have multiples of 3, mine is 45, slip stitch to your beginning single crochet. Okay, now we're going to start our patterning, the textured daisy. We are going to chain 1 here, and we're going to put 3 single crochets in that same stitch or space as our chain 1. If you want to mark that with a stitch marker, you sure can. I don't need to, it sticks up from the stitches, so I don't mark it, but you sure can. Now we're going to skip 1, and in the next stitch, put 3 single crochet. We are going to repeat that all the way around our hat. 3 single crochet, skip 1 stitch, 3 single crochet, skip 1 stitch, all the way around. I will meet you at the end of this round and show you how to proceed on the body of the hat. Skip 1, 3 single crochet. So I will see you in a moment. Okay, once you get to the end of your round, you will see your 3 single crochets here. We're going to slip stitch into the first. So 1, 2, and 3 right here, slip stitch. Now we're not going to chain 1 because I think it just adds bulk. So just pull up on your loop just a little bit, and then in the next stitch right here, which is the center of your 3, put 3 single crochets in that stitch. 1, 2, and 3. You can mark that first stitch if you want. Now look at your work and you'll see your sets of 3 all along here. We're going to always go into the middle single crochet of those sets. So if you're looking at your stitches, you will skip this next one, skip this first one, and go into the middle and put 3 single crochets. We're going to do that all the way around. Skip the next one, skip the next one, go into the next one, put 3 single crochets. So as you're looking at your work, you don't have to worry about counting, about skipping. You can just look at your set of stitches. You have 3, go into the middle one, 3 single crochets. We're going to repeat that until we get to the length of the body of our hat that we want. So in the description box, like I said before, that list will be down there, and it will tell you an approximate, measure from crown to eyebrow, the length that you should have for whatever age you're looking to make the hat. Unless you want a longer beanie to flip up the brim, then you would make it longer, but I'm going to work until I hit around 8 inches or so. And then I'm going to start decreasing, and I will show you how to do that. So you're just going to do round and round, just like this one. When you get to the height that you're looking for, meet back up with me in just a second here, and we'll go forward. So I will see you in a minute. All right, so I think I have 6 inches on my hat now. I will measure it. I think it's right around there. Brim, a little over 6. Not quite 6.5, so 6.25 inches. I'm going to go ahead and start decreasing. I want the hat from brim to crown to be about 8 inches or so. So yeah, I'm going to start decreasing. And this is how I do it in this pattern. So we're starting out on our first stitch like we always do in the middle stitch, right? We slip stitch to our first single crochet. Now we're going to work or use the next stitch because that's the middle single crochet. So for decreasing, we are going to skip some stitches or single crochet them together. So we're going to go into our next stitch here, that middle one. We're going to yarn over and we're going to pull up. We're going to go into our next set right here, and we are going to go in the middle one, yarn over and pull up. We're going to yarn over and go through all 3 of those loops, okay? And then we're going to put 2 more single crochet in that stitch, 1 and 2. Now I mark my stitch right here because it is very easy to lose as you come back around and just mow right over that and didn't know you were doing it. So the 2 we did together, our first stitch, and then we came over here and we pulled it all together. We pulled those together and decreased one of these 3 single crochets. I'm going to mark where we did that. That is going to count as our first stitch when we come back around. Now I'm going to do 3 sets of these stitches normally. So the next middle single crochet here, I'm putting 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and 3. Then I'm going to go to the next one, the middle one, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3. Next one, 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to decrease. I'm going to go into the next middle single crochet. I'm going to pull up a loop. I'm going to come over to the next one. Go in, pull up a loop. I'm going to go through all 3 of those. I'm going to put 2 more single crochet in that stitch. And now the next 3 I'm going to do normal. 3 single crochets in the middle single crochet. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you'll decrease, do 3 as you normally would, and then decrease again. Okay, so we're going to decrease again. I'm going to go into this next middle single crochet, yarn over and pull up. I'm going to find our next one, go in that, yarn over and pull up, going to yarn over and go through all 3. And then 2 more single crochet in that same stitch. I'm going to do 3 normal. 3 single crochet in the next middle single crochet 3 times. Once you get your 3 normal ones done, decrease again. Find your middle single crochet of your next bunch, yarn over, pull up, find your next one, yarn over and pull up, yarn over and go through all 3. 2 more single crochet in that stitch. Three normal. I'm down to my last 2. Depending on the size you're making, you may be only down to 1. If you're down to 1, just finish it like you normally would. I'm down to 2, so I'm going to decrease one more time. I'm going to go into the middle stitch here, pull up a loop, go into the next middle stitch here, pull up a loop, go through all 3 loops, and then put 2 more single crochets there. It's always going to be different depending on the size of hat that you're making, right? Because you might not have the same stitch count as I do. So then we slip stitch into our first stitch just like we always do. And this round we're just going to do a normal round. So each center single crochet we're going to put 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to mark that first stitch again. Each middle single crochet all the way around, put 3 single crochets. And I will meet up with you in just a minute at the end of the round. All right, we are to the end of our round. We need to keep decreasing, so I'm going to slip stitch into the beginning single crochet here. And then we're going to start decreasing right away. So we're going to go into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up. Go into the next middle single crochet here, yarn over and pull up. Yarn over, go through all 3. We're going to mark that stitch in just a minute. Put 2 single crochets in that same stitch. And then we're going to mark that first one so we don't miss it on our way back around. Now do 3 normal sets of the 3 single crochets in the middle single crochet. And then decrease again. Middle single crochet, yarn over, pull up. Next one, middle single crochet, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, go through all 3. 2 more single crochet in that same stitch. 3 normal sets. Middle single crochet, 3 single crochets. Do that all the way around. Okay, we're to the end of our round again. I'm going to do one more round that is regular. So in every middle single crochet, we are going to put a regular set of 3 single crochets. Slip stitch to your beginning single crochet, 3 single crochets in the next stitch. Three single crochets in the next middle single crochet. All the way around. I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, as you can see, we are leading up to the top. We need to decrease now for the finishing of our rounds. Otherwise, we're going to have an elf hat, and I wasn't making an elf hat. So if you want an elf hat, keep doing what we have been doing, and you will get up to a peak. Otherwise, let's just make it a hat. I'm going to slip stitch into that first single crochet. Going to go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, go into the next middle single crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the 3, put 2 more single crochet in that same stitch. Mark your first stitch. In the next 2 sets of 3 single crochet, we're going to do normal. So next middle single crochet, put 3 single crochets. Next one, 3 single crochets. Next one, we're going to decrease. Go into the middle one, yarn over, pull up, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up, go through all 3. 2 more single crochets. In the next 2, we're going to do normal. So 3 single crochets in the middle stitch there. And in the next one, 3 single crochets in the middle stitch. Then we're going to decrease. Next one, yarn over, pull up. Next one, yarn over, pull up. Yarn over, go through all 3. 2 single crochets in that same stitch. I have 3 sets left. I'm going to finish them just all normal. So 3 single crochets in the middle single crochet of the next 3 sets. Okay, this next round we're going to decrease even more. So take that out. I'm going into the middle one, not this one this time because I don't want that much of a dip in the work. So going into the middle stitch, yarn over, pull up, going into the middle of the next one, yarning over, pulling up, yarning over, going through all 3. 2 more single crochet in that same stitch, marking that. Decreasing 2 together here as well. Middle one, yarn over, pull up, middle one, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, go through all 3. 2 more single crochets in that stitch. Next 2. Go into the middle stitch, yarn over, pull up. Next set, go into the middle stitch, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, go through all 3. 2 more single crochets in that same stitch. Next set, middle stitch, yarn over, pull up. Next set, middle stitch, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, go through all 3. 2 more single crochets in that same stitch. Okay, we have 2 left. You're going to decrease them. Middle stitch, yarn over, pull up, middle stitch, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, go through all 3. 2 more single crochets. Cut about 10 inches or so of yarn. I'm going to slip stitch to the first marked stitch and pull through. Take that stitch marker out. Straighten up the hat so that you can look at it. If you want to leave this a ponytail hat, you sure can. Weave in your end and you're good. You got a ponytail hat. Otherwise, you would weave in your last stitches. You'd weave through them like a drawstring bag. Starting with your next stitch, just weave in and out of the stitches. All the way around your circle. And you want to make sure that your stitches are pretty low before you're cinching them shut. Otherwise, you're going to have a pretty big bunch at the top of your hat. And there you have yourself a beautiful hat. I'll bring in the purple one so that you can see that. I'm going to zoom out a bit. As you can see, my ball of yarn here, there's still a lot left. This is the purple one. This was amethyst, the color amethyst, soft white amethyst. So if you're looking to find out what that colorway would look like with this pattern, that is it. I think they're right around the same size. Yep. So the yarn is amazing. You can do whatever you want with it. You do not have to make granny squares. That is a personal call. I'm not going to unless I just want to sit and worry about my tension and stuff. I'm not really into that so much, so I'm not probably going to do that, but if I do, I'll share that with you. I like the not knowing what the result is going to be instead of trying to make it as perfect as I can. I love the non-perfectness of this so much. And it doesn't matter what side you're looking at the hat, it's gonna change. Every side will be different. I think it's cool that way. I mean, that's just me. It probably bothers some people, but I like it. I personally love it. I know I did make a blanket for our first granddaughter, and I color controlled that whole thing, and it drove me crazy trying for perfection when it just was supposed to be. And I think I would have enjoyed that project a lot more had I not color controlled it all and just let it happen. I mean, life is not clean with perfect lines. I'm just gonna let it go with the flow and do what it wants to do. I personally love it. I think it's imperfect, which makes it perfect. I love this colorway so very much. I really, really do. This is cute, but this is me. So if you are looking to buy some and you like the look of it, it's called Erin Soft Sky. This one is soft white amethyst. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial. I hope you make some fingerless mitts as well. And you can check out my stitch worked flat and you can make up a scarf for this, or you could use the fingerless mitts tutorial to make a cowl. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, guys. Bye.